Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy T, putting the G in geek, coming to you with another episode of On the Hunt. You know, the weekly web series where I kind of tell you guys the hot books that I'm looking for. I gotta start this video off like I start all the videos off by saying, you know, this isn't really investment advice. This isn't really financial advice, you know what I mean? We're just trying to get some of the hot books that cover price. It's all for fun, so please don't spend your rent money. Another point of this video is to share information with each other, share information with me. I don't know what you're getting. I may want to get it. Day is young. It's the best day of the week. Comic day. So let's get right to it. Of course, we're going to get right to the books, but before we do that, as always, I got to remind you guys, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that good stuff. Really helps us out. So hey, we're just going to get right into Marvel. The first book I'm going to pick up from Marvel this week is Old Man Logan, number 47. This book is kind of seeing some movement on eBay already. I'm wondering, you know, I think we're supposed to learn maybe something about the new symbiote this issue. Plus a new villain and a potential death kind of makes this book interesting and kind of being looked at. So, you know, I'm going to pick that up. The next book I'm going to pick up from Marvel is Squirrel Girl, number 36. This is an all-silent issue, meaning no words, just pictures. In the past, some of these books have done really well. So, you know, I'm going to check that out and pick that up. Next book I'm going to pick up is Runaways, number 13. This basically, actor Ryan Sands from the Runaways show draws the variant. So I'm going to more go for the variant, the Ryan Sands variant. This is supposed to be his first comic book work, so that's pretty cool. Him being on the show might be worth the pickup. And the last book I'm going to pick up from Marvel, kind of a bit of a small week as far as, you know, events go, is Weapon H, number 7. I'm going to basically pick this book up because there's a new Skrull-related villain. His name is Skrulldiggers. You know, villains are kind of hit and miss sometimes as far as spec goes, but still, I do like the minor stuff, so I'm probably going to pick that up. And that's a quick week from Marvel. Moving right along, we're going to hit up some DC, and the first book I'm going to pick up from DC is Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 26. Red Hood, this is supposed to be the all-new, all-different Red Hood. If you have a look on the regular A cover, you can actually see that, you know, they've kind of redone his costume and stuff like that. He looks really neat, so it's definitely going to be something I'm going to pick up. He's a decently sized character, so you know that any change, especially a big change like this, maybe is going to do well. So I'm going to pick that up, and to go along with that, I'm going to pick up Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 26, the Yasmin Putri variant. This is heating up just along like with the Red Hood and the Outlaws number 25, that Putri variant, where he's kind of smashing through the glass. I really like this one too, you know what I mean? With Red Hood casting out his old costume. It's kind of the solo, how he's holding the bloody red helmet in the one hand. Really cool stuff in my opinion. And then I just move on to some covers, you know what I mean? Not much for events going on this week in DC. So the first thing I'm going to pick up is Catwoman number 3, the Art Germ variant. This is a really nice Art Germ cover. I really like how she looks like she's kind of dressed in a modern ball gown. It's not as nice as the next one. I mean, they're already totally teasing that one and everything like that, but this is still really nice too. I'm really liking what Art Germ's doing on these Catwoman, so I'm going to pick that up. Next book I'm going to pick up is Suicide Squad number 26, the Matina variant. Matina's, baby. For cover prize, you know what I mean? And it's not a bad Matina, you know. I actually like what he's doing on these Suicide covers. You know, I'm a big fan of Matina, so I'm going to pick that up for sure. Next book I'm going to pick up is Superman number 3, just the Adam Hughes variant. It's a decent Hughes, you know, it's not great, but it's... sometimes I'm wondering, is Hughes cooling off? Maybe it's just his work, like the last one he's done, the Captain America. Some of the Superman stuff, while still okay, is just not like knocking my socks off like normal Hughes does. Although I really do like the reflection of the fire in the glasses. I really like what Hughes did there. I do like how the cover imagery of, you know, superheroes disrobing from their regular, you know, stuff into their superhero costumes. So still pretty cool. And that's all I'm going to pick up from DC. Moving right along, we're going to hit up Image next, and only really one book I'm going to look at from Image this week, and that is Cemetery Beach number 1. This is a story about a Pathfinder that breaks out of a torture cell. He has to escape on foot in his worst extraction ever. I'm actually liking the scratchy look of the cover on this one. I'm gonna have to check out the art inside. I guess he's on an island that was established hundreds of years ago that has like tons of lunatics on it, so might be something dark and creepy to check out, and that's all I'm gonna look at from Image. Next, moving on to another company, just a little company called Ahoy Comics, and that book I'm gonna pick up from Ahoy Comics is The Wrong Earth #1. This looks like a cool little story. I kind of like stories like this. I'm definitely gonna have a flip through it first, but I have a feeling it's gonna be pretty rare, so if I do see it, I might grab it. It's a story about two heroes that kind of have different personalities. It's kind of like they're from parallel Earths, so they're from the same hero, but you know, I'm suspecting that maybe one is happy-go-lucky and the other is super serious because he's fighting like super crime. The other one is just having nice adventures, and really they get switched. So, you know, it might have that whole, I don't know if anybody remembers any of this kind of stuff, but an old Ultimate Comics Spider-Man story, one of my favorite was when Wolverine and Spidey switched bodies, because it was just an interesting satire of how they would carry on with their personalities, kind of, you know, in their alternate world or whatever like that. So it might be something interesting, you know what I mean? I just picture, you know, the happy-go-lucky guy all of a sudden is super serious and people are kind of wondering what happened to him, and I don't know, it just could have a lot of funny situations and stuff like that. It looks like an interesting book, so I'm actually going to have a look for it, and that's going to do it for Ahoy. Next, we're going to hit up some Alterna comics, and the first book I'm going to pick up from Alterna is Blood Realm #1. This looks like a cool dark story. I will check out the insides for sure. I gotta be honest on this one, the cover just really caught me. It looks really dark. I kind of want to see what's going on inside it. I can't wait to really flip through it. Hopefully the art inside kind of matches the outside. And I'm actually going to pick up one more book from Alterna this week, and it is called Exilium #1. It sounds really interesting. It's a story about an advanced alien race trying to live alongside humanity after their planet has been destroyed. I don't mind these a man misplaced stories, you know what I mean? That's what I like to call them. Kind of reminiscent of things like Encino Man, or anything where someone is really thrown out of their element and trying to survive with weird customs and cultures of somewhere else. I don't know, I just like stories like that. It kind of has sets up for good situations and moments. Hopefully the art matches the story and the covers and stuff like that, so I'm gonna check that out for sure. Next, we're going to move on to American Mythology, and really only one book I'm going to pick up from American Mythology strictly for the cover, and that is Moon Maid #1. I'm just going to have a look for the regular cover, you know what I mean? I'm going to see how it feels in my hands. This is pure thickness, you know what I mean? Yes, yes. So I gotta check that out. You know, I've been kind of cheesy lately, liking my cheesecake stuff, so I'm gonna grab that, or at least have a look at it. It might not feel as good in my hands as it looks in the solicitation, so you'll have to tune into the new comic book day haul to see if I actually grabbed it. But I'm definitely gonna have a look for it and a flip through it. And that's going to do it for American Mythology. Moving right along, we're going to hit up Archie Comics next. And again, really only one book I'm going to pick up from Archie Comics, and that is Archie 1941 #1. This is a new miniseries from Wade. It's actually supposed to be one of the best Archie stories ever told. I like this era, you know what I mean? I feel like it's more reminiscent of the eras that Archie should have been in. I know he was more 50s with pop tates and diners, but I like when they kind of harken him back. It's going to be interesting, you know, if it's during the war, and that's a lot of issues from that are kind of dealt with and stuff like that. It could be more of a serious Archie book. So yeah, I think I'm going to have a look from that from sure. And that's it from Archie. Next up, Boom Studios, and really only one book I'm going to check out from Boom, something new, and that is Low Road West #1. This is a story about teenagers trying to escape their nuclear-stricken home. I'm definitely gonna have to flip through it for the art and stuff like that, but I do like teenage stories and kind of kid books. Not kid books, but stories about teenagers kind of dealing with, you know, almost adult problems. You know, I really like movies that are about like teenage parties and stuff like that. I don't know, I just like the interaction of that. I always have. So I'm gonna have a flip through that. Hopefully the art's really good. And that's it from Boom. Next, we're gonna check out Dynamite, and really only one book I'm gonna pick up from Dynamite, again, strictly for the cover, and that is Elvira, Mistress of the Dark #2. I'm just gonna look for the regular Linsner cover. I don't even really know what's going on inside this book, but I really like Linsner. You know, if you followed my stuff, you know I collect his stuff. I really like this cover. I think Elvira looks pretty good on it. I like how Linsner draws the female form. And so I'm going to pick that up and add it to the collection. I know, and that's short from Dynamite. Next, we're just going to hit up a small company, Readfive Comics. Really only one book I'm going to pick up from Readfive, and that is Riptide #2. I don't know if you remember this, but I actually shouted out #1. It had a really cool cover of a boat kind of capsizing. I'm going to shout out #2, not only for the cover, you know, shout out to Acid Face Gil, because he really likes his shark covers, and this looks like a pretty cool hammerhead shark cover. But also because #1 is still selling for 20 plus, so that actually is retaining its value. These have like micro small print runs. This variant, or not this variant, but this #2, it only really has one listed on eBay, and they're trying to get $80 for it. So I don't know, man, that sounds like a really quick flip. I know that sounds kind of unreal, but there's really only one sale so far for this book even, and that's been for $50. So it was a pre-sale, you know, that's somebody probably just trying to get their hands on it early. So definitely, if you see that one around your way, you know, you might want to grip that up, especially if you're in it for the quick flip. I'm gonna grab it. I've got the #1. I did end up picking that up. I'll keep the #2. You know, maybe that early set will go for something in case that becomes a movie or something like that. But that's all I'm gonna pick up. I'm just gonna make one more stop. Last comic I'm gonna pick up, and it's from Waxworks Comics, just another small company, and it is called Poser #1. This is a small press horror book that upends all the usual slasher tropes. That's what it says in the solicitation. It also says that it will give us something to talk about for years. I know that that's just an advertisement. They're just trying to draw us in, but you never know. If it upends the usual slasher tropes, you never know what kind of interesting hooks and turns the story could take. Maybe it's a Dexter style thing where, you know, the cop is the killer, or something like, you know, something equal to that, where it's just something interesting that could really get us into it. I love horror books. This one sounds really interesting. Again, as usual, I'm gonna have to have a flip through it, but I'm gonna say that story sounds really cool. And that's gonna do it from Waxworks. Well, guys, that's gonna do it for another episode of On the Hunt. You know, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that good stuff. Make sure you always check out saddlecitycomics.com. You know what I mean? We always have a lot of good stuff on there. Make sure you check out the channel. Make sure you hit the bell, the notifications, especially because, you know, we have some good content coming. We always have the new comic book haul. I'm happy to say that we're going to be making a prominent return to the 100K series. I got a couple top 5s that I'm going to work on, top 5 covers of the month and whatnot. So make sure you stay tuned to that, top 5 specs. I'd love to stay and chat with you guys tonight, you know what I mean? But time is ticking. Gotta get my butt out there and get these books. Hope you guys have good luck getting these books too. I'll see you next week. Peace.